Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and I'm getting ready to go work on the Esther Journal again, so come along with me. I'm going to, still thinking about the binding, but I'm going to use some gold paste today and make this thing a little shinier. So come along with me. Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and I'm going to come back to the Esther Journal kit. And this is from the add-on kit. I'm going to do this, but first I'm going to do a couple of these simple folds that I did the painting on them. This big envelope and these two things. So they're very simple. It's just folding on the lines. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but we're having a thunderstorm, which I'm thrilled about. And it's evening, and I am happy because I have been having to water everything, and it's been really hot, really dry. I planted tomatoes, and they need to be watered like every day. It's so weird. I'm not good with tomatoes. I'm good with flowers, but I'm not good with tomatoes. And I put 3 in pots this year, and I thought, okay, I can do this. And I even watched a couple of videos on growing tomatoes on YouTube. And so sure enough, I got tomatoes. The squirrels are leaving them alone. So far, so good. And they're just starting to get a little bit of red on them. So, I mean, I could pick them, but the ones that are turning red have tomatoes. They're all jumbled up together with some that aren't turning yet. And so I'm afraid if I pick the ones that are turning red, the other ones will fall off. So I'm leaving them alone for now. Peyton's down there having a fit. He doesn't like storms, so if you hear him woofing in the background, that's why. He didn't like the 4th of July, and he doesn't like lightning and thunder. Okay, so there is that envelope. And honestly, I'm a little dissatisfied with this because I really meant to print this on thinner paper. And I kind of feel like I might do that anyway, just because I think it would feel more like a real envelope if it was on the thinner paper, but I already had printed it out, so I went ahead with it. But I have a feeling I'm going to try it on just regular copy paper, and I bet you it'll come out a lot nicer as far as feeling like an envelope. So now I'm going to ink it with Vintage Photo. What a shock. I know you guys are surprised and shocked by that. So anyway, I was kind of glad it rained so I don't have to worry about my tomatoes. What am I missing? Oh, the flaps. Okay. These look so much cooler. I'm always just so thrilled when I see them inked. Everything, it just looks so much better. Let me get this edge. That paint came out good on this. That's really kind of a shame to put it inside the envelope, but that's the way it goes. So then you actually can glue it one of 2 ways. You can either glue it that way, or if you want to see all the writing, you could glue it that way, but I think it looks better this way. So that's what I'm going to do. It's got copy from the Book of Esther on the flaps. I love that part. The king loved Esther more than all the women, and she found favor and kindness with him. That is the favor of God, and that is what I like to have, and I ask for it a lot. Okay. I'm going to do the inside of that flap too. And the crease, because I think it looks cooler when you do the creases. Okay. All right. So there is that envelope already. Isn't that pretty? I mean, that illustration is really, not illustration, it's a painting. Really pretty. Okay, and I also wanted to mention to you guys that these big illustrations that I included in this, some of them I put these flaps on and some of them I didn't. But when I cut mine out, I went ahead and cut about a 1/2 inch at least, no smaller than a 1/2 inch. And then you just angle the edges. That way, if you want to glue it in as like a folio, you can. Or if you want to fold it and put it into a pocket, you can do that too. But this gives me the option when the time comes. Okay, and then this, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and cut this slit so that you can shut it. And I made a little notch so you knew where to fold it. So that is how it shuts. Make sure it, come on now. Oh, I know what it is. I got it folded wonky over here. And that is where a folding bone comes in handy, because you can force it into submission when you get it where you want it. Okay. And so this doesn't really stand out. So that's where the distress ink is going to help me, I think. So I'm going to pull out some colored distress ink in the blue and green family. I'm going to try the turquoise, or well, I'll use the Mermaid Lagoon and coax it in a color direction so it's not quite so blah. Just kind of let it run over the edges so it actually adds color to the whole thing. And so, let's see. I want some green too on here, so let me, and do I want to add blue to this? Maybe. Just here and there, and then I'll add some green to it too. Okay, so there's that. Let's see what this is. Okay, that's going to need a different color, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I need a green. Let's see. I really probably, I don't really have, well, I mean, I've got, no, you know what? It's the Cracks Pistachio I want. That's what I'm going to go with. Kind of a blue-green. Okay. All right, that's looking a little livelier. And, oh yeah, okay. So I want to add some metallics to this journal wherever I can. And I've got the spray, mica sprays. I think I'm going to try that too. So let me run over to the other side of the table and pick out a mica spray that I think might work, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to try to, I have this Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist that I bought from Linda Israel on her website, and it's a pretty blue, and then this chartreuse green. This one is a mess. I've had it for a while, but it's pretty it looks pretty good when it's on there. So let me move this because I'm going to try and kill two birds with one stone. Instead of putting down paper or something to protect the desktop, I'm going to put down some of my scrap papers. So I have these papers that I printed the other day that I didn't really care for. So I'm going to use them because they're big. And just let them be a base. And then I'm going to take some of my scraps. You guys are going to be like, what? I'm just going to scatter some of my paper. Scraps that I have because they're kind of boring. They need some excitement. So I'm going to use them to catch whatever goes off on this. Now this is the other card that I haven't folded yet, but I'm going to spray it with this Tattered Angels and see how that looks. And then on this one, I'm going to spray that with the Chartreuse. Yeah, that livened it up. Okay. Oh, I like that a lot better. And I think I'll add some blue on that one, maybe on the edge. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. Okay, I don't have any pink exactly that I thought would work, so I'm going to use this. This is Tim Holtz, and it's not even opened yet, and it's the pewter mica spray. It's that rule of thirds. Things in an uneven number, like 3. If you're going to do something, do it 3 times or 5 times. Looks better. And well, I got this stuff out. Spray it. And, oh, where's the cap? So these need to dry. Let me pull these out so I don't lose them in the mess. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is this 4-pocket, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a folio because we're going to glue it on a page. But anyway, I'm going to cut this out and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got the pieces out, and so I'm going to ink them with the vintage. Whoops, already got a sponge on there. Vintage Photo. These kind of blend in. They're very similar. But I think that once we poke things into the pockets, it'll make them stand out. So hopefully with the help of the vintage ink, Vintage Photo ink, and that, I think we'll get to, it'll pop out, pop the pockets off so they'll show up. So I'm gonna sew them on. You don't have to sew them if you don't have a sewing machine. You can just glue them. So if you're gonna glue them, this is the one you want to be careful and glue it in a T. So you go straight down and across, and then glue it kind of in the middle. So down the middle and across, and that gives you a pocket here and a pocket here. And then these, of course, you would glue in the corners. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue these a little bit just to kind of hold them in place so they don't slip when I go to the sewing machine. Okay, so I'm going to run it over to the sewing machine and sew. I'm going to sew here and here. I'm going to do the edges, and that's it. So I will do that real quick and come back over here and let you see how that looks. Okay, and you probably can't see it that well, but I've got this, I used white thread. If I really wanted it to stand out, I should have used black probably, but that's okay. And then I'm going to add some shine to it because I feel like I want to make this thing very metallic and sparkly and lavish. Because that's the kind of life that they lived in that palace. So oh, here, let me put the lid on so I can hold this up. This is something I just bought not too long ago. It's called Bo Bunny Stencil Paste. And it's gold stencil paste. And I saw somebody use it in a video, so I thought, ooh, I want to try that. So, let's see. So I've not used it before. Let me find this. I think I'm going to try this stencil and just sort of, I don't even know really how to apply it. I'm going to use a brush, I think. And it's sort of thick, so I have a feeling it may be dimensional. See, it's thick. So I'm going to pat it on through the stencil. And then lift the stencil up so that it's sort of raised. And just apply it kind of randomly. Let's see what that looks like. Put it across that pocket. I imagine this takes a while to dry. I don't know if it's water soluble. I don't know much about it. I just saw somebody use it and it looked really cool, so I thought, ooh, I think I'll get some. And I had kind of a hard time finding it. I felt like some places said it was discontinued, but somebody had it out there. And Bo Bunny needs to keep making it, I think, because it's pretty cool. Okay, so hope you can see that, how shiny and the dimension of that sticking out. If I turn it, maybe you can see, let the light catch it. So I'm going to be using this a lot, I think, in this journal. So I probably ought to find out how to wipe this off and clean it. Let's see if it says anything on the back. Metallic designs. This is for best results spread product using a palette knife, water-based. Okay, so it's water-based. Awesome. So I'm going to use so it says use a palette knife. Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind as I go forward. Ooh, I hate to waste it, so I'm going to wipe it on some of my scraps. And trying to make my paper scraps more exciting. So instead of, okay, so there's that. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, please click the like button. Think about subscribing. I would love for you to do that. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.